Hi, welcome back to Dow Twang. I'm Dave. Today is payday, okay? Part 3, our final installment in this 3-part mini course on intermediate improvisation skills, okay? Now, it's payday because you've done the work if you've been working on parts 1 and 2. If not, stick around, don't run off. If you're just joining us for the first time, welcome. If you like the sound of that intro and you're like, oh, okay, this style's all right. That part 1 and 2 take you through kind of a step-by-step process, okay, of, uh, 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 learning and practicing skills in an experiential way that builds you up to playing a solo, sort of like what you just saw, but not just like it. It sounds like you, not like me, but using the same stuff. And process is the key word here. On this channel, on many of you, that have been around for a minute know this. It's not like here's the solo, do it, practice it, you're done. Every once in a while we might tab something out like that, but it's always to serve the higher purpose of you being able to add skills to use in your own language, okay? And with these mini courses, it's very experiential, right? There is no, here's what we're shooting for. You're going to copy my solo or whatever. That it doesn't have any of that really. So it's conceptual, but I'm giving you, hopefully, the right stuff in the right ways to support you being able to improvise in this manner. So we won't philosophize about that all day, but if you're new, I like to check in every once in a while and kind of let you know how it works on here. So today we're going to just put this backing track on. I'm going to show you the chords real quick, and we're not going to talk about a lot of theory and stuff, maybe a few little points, but I'm just going to show you kind of like my way of moving around and playing over this progression. And then you take what you need, leave the rest, do your own thing, right? So let's jump right on in here. So our chords are E minor. Here we are from the top. B minor. A. And you hold that A. B minor pentatonic. Okay, now, let me leave that on. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put in a little bit of this B minor natural scale, okay, natural minor, right? Pentatonic. Okay, so now a little bit more starting to percolate there, right? Most of it's a lot of, kind of blues scale. Using a lot of pickup beats to the downbeat. 1, 2, 3. See how that bent note going up to that, that's the downbeat of the E minor. Okay, take the time. One of the things that's outlined in a lot of our mini courses and method on this channel is going off to the side, from the backing track and like really kind of letting your ear say, oh, I instead of kind of knowing intellectually what the chord tones are, like, just that note sounds good. And when you hit one of those, hang out on it, let it go over the whole measure even maybe, and then kind of put it under the microscope with the theory and say like, I wonder why that sounds so good. Oh, it's one of the notes in that triad for that chord or something, right? Just ideas. So after a couple times around with that minor pentatonic, I started to add a couple more notes to it. Those are from the B natural minor scale. Okay, there's only 2 additional notes if we are talking about adding them inside that minor pentatonic frame. It's this one and that one. Now, you can name these scales whatever you want. Leave comments about it. We've had some good discussions on this one because I've been kind of avoiding getting caught up in, naming a lot of different things about the key and stuff here. But the notes that are in that B natural minor are also the notes in an A Mixolydian scale. And here's what I really like to do, and this is I'm showing you here's my secret on this, is when it on the E minor and the B minor, I'm really playing a lot of that kind of blues scale minor pentatonics, and I just like it. It sounds good, right? And I like to do a lot of bends and legato stuff and hammers and pull-offs and stuff in that part. And I'll show you some more here in just a minute. When it goes to that A, though, I'm treating that like a flat 7 chord. I don't play on the backing track. I just play a triad. But the theory that I'm using, and you can kind of fill in the blanks here as far as you want to go with it, is that I'm treating that as a 5 chord, a flat 7, a dominant 7. So that the 2 notes that we're adding in there happen to be the flat 7 for an A7 in an A7 and the third, the major third. Right? You can't beat that. And here's one thing you can do right away that really pays off and it's fun and it sounds good. Is just go right from that flat 7 and walk it right down that note sequence to that major third. And back up. So there's a little game plan. So watch what's happening. Over the E minor and B minor, I'll play the B minor pentatonic. When it gets to that A, I'll put those other notes in there and I'll really feature the flat 7 and the major third. All right. I had myself blocked from my view there. Couldn't see what I was doing on the screen, but it felt okay, right? I'll let you be the judge. But that's the kind of one of the routines that I'm using. Now, without getting, too microscopic about it, let's say I went That's nice because that's a chord tone of the E minor, right? Well, I'll let you figure out which one. that just sounds nice over that. That's a chord tone of the B minor, a triad tone. See? There's that third again, right? So then I did some kind of walking around. When I got to a place where I kind of liked that note sequence, I just kind of right. Don't stress out over like, oh, I'm not landing on a chord tone and all this and that. It's nice when those things happen, and you'll know it. Your ear will know it when those good things happen, and then kind of go back and reflect on it. Like, oh, okay, yeah. See if you can, latch onto that and repeat it and sort it out. Go around another time, right? But don't try to use precognition for it, right? That's just like, oh, I have to work all this out in my head and then play something. It's actually quite the opposite. Play something. And when something good happens, go back and figure out why it sounds that way, okay? But you got to have enough support and guidelines, and scaffolding to get you to where you can participate in that process, right? And that's what I'm doing here. I'm showing you, kind of the nuts and bolts of what you can do here. And so there's a couple of just fun shapes with this pentatonic that I'm going to show you real quick too. I just kind of started that anywhere, right? It'll work over any of it. Now that one, okay, let me stop that for just a second because the same shape, right, will work up here. Right, but that's a different one of your minor pentatonic shapes, right? So when you and I did this in the intro, quite frequently, is when I'm playing a kind of an outer shell like that with the minor pentatonic. When it gets to that A, I'll look for those chord tones within here. That's that. Right. Now just listen to what that sounds like, and then I'm going to let you go and let you move over to the backing track and start doing your thing, because that's a nice little program. But I want you to see a couple examples of this. Okay. And you've got, some places in there where you can play, the triad tones for the other chords too, the E minor. It's all going to come together, man. If you go through parts 1 and 2 and really spend time immersing yourself into each one of those activities, and when you get back to this video, and you're already on your way. You just need a little bit of, help kind of mapping it out, right? And hopefully that was some really useful ideas for you. Those were kind of the real pressure points over that A, that flat 7 down to that third. that just sounds so good. Let me know how this goes, all right? I'll be looking for you in the comments. And here in the next few days, we're going to move on to the next project. And I really appreciate every one of you. Thanks for all the feedback and participation on the channel. Talk to you soon.